Welcome back, or if it's your first time to Friday Night Workshop. We believe in comics at the Sequential Artists Workshop. SAW is a 501c3 nonprofit with online courses you can see at learn.sawcomics.org. I thought Alt is supposed to make the toolbar go away, but it's still there. We've got fall courses coming up, like Graphic Medicine 3-month deep dive with Maureen Burdock. That's a 3-month intensive with a limited class size. And next week at Friday Night Comics, we have Nightmare Fuel presented by, wait a minute. By somebody whose name I can't see because the toolbar's in the way. And also we have, Beth Tremblay's Well on Your Way, her 12-week memoir intensive. That is starting at a date that's in the lower right corner that I can't see because the toolbar is in the way. I thought when you press Alt, it goes away, but apparently not. No, just the presentation goes away. Okay. And you can see all the courses that we have, the short and long-term ones, at learn.sawcomics.org. Also, you can check out comics from the SAW community at Seesaw Comics, including what we do on Friday Night Comics. We have a special Friday Night Comics section. And we do weekly PDFs. I'm going to put the information if you want to share what you do tonight and see it in the PDF on Seesaw. And SAW survives from tuitions and donations that support free events like tonight that pays the guest artists. So those donations really matter. If you donated to this workshop tonight, thank you. And you can also support SAW via sustaining donor at PayPal or our Patreon sites. Don't forget to share your work on social media with the hashtag Friday Night Comics or at Comics Workshop. And join us for free anytime at the SAW sharing site where everything happens, Mighty Network. That's at members.sawcomics.org. Please, no inappropriate speech or imagery, no trolling or hate speech or explicit, etc. Thank you. Keep it PG-13 if in doubt. That mostly applies to when we share at the end. And enjoy. Tonight, composing single-page comics with Lawrence Lindell, who is here. And stop share, stop share. I can't see anything tonight. What have I done? Oh, it's closed caption. That's in the way. There it is. Whew. Hi, Lawrence.
Hey. All right. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Lawrence Lindell. I do comics and stuff. And tonight we're going to be doing single page comics and how to compose them. I run a small press with my spouse in the Bay Area called Lindell House. There's some of the mini comics that we published. I do graphic novels with Drawn and Quarterly and Random House Graphic. Blackbird and Buckle Up are out now. And I have one coming out next year called We All Got Something. That should be fun. And I do some stuff with the New Yorker. And cool, that's enough about me. So tonight we're doing single page comics. Here are some examples of single page comics that were having the same problem you have where I can't see everything. That were composed as panels and not as single page comics. So basically I did each individual panel first and then put them together later. And that is not what we'll be doing tonight. So here's an example of a webcomic I did for Razor Cake where I drew each panel by itself and then later put it together to make one page. So for tonight's lesson, I want to focus on actually composing the page meant to be a single page from the beginning instead of at the end. Um, this one's okay. I don't mind it too much, composition wise, but it's just like a standard grade. But I feel like what I love about single page comics is you can get very creative with the flow and layout of it, as opposed to using a lot of grids, which you don't have to. So all these were drawn separately and then added together later. And single page comics that were composed as one page. So here's another example of a comic I did for Razor Cake, which it was all drawn on the same page and it was composed that way. Still pretty lit, like standard. What is it? 5 panels, 6 if you include the title. Um, but yeah, it's a little fun, more fun. A different mindset of composing the entire page versus adding it together later. So here's an example of a page that's meant to be one singular page. You can't break it up, even if you tried. Like you could try, but it wouldn't read the same way, and that's the point of drawing it as a single page. And it's just me talking about wasting time, thinking about wasting time. Um, and I chose to put it in my head because I'm having the conversation in my head. Yeah, same thing. Uh, Today my gut says chill out and kind of experimenting with talking in my head and then talking to my gut.
Mm.
And here's an example of composition I used in an anthology that it didn't make it into the anthology, but the composition I liked. And is another example of drawing a page that's meant to be the single page as opposed to yeah, putting it together later. So this page only operates together, like it's all together and it can't be broken up. And that's what I want us to focus on tonight. And here are some examples from other cartoonists from an anthology I put together. And I just like the way they took on the challenge of they only have one page. So I only allowed them to have one page and yeah, seeing what they could do with the one page. This is a very unique take on having a single page comic, even if you check out how the title falls into the sculpture. And yeah, so this is kind of how I want us to experiment tonight. And I'll try to throw all of the cartoonist names in the chat. It'll be faster when I do that as you guys are drawing. Same thing, like if you were to try to break this up, it would ruin the flow of this page. And so it's a single page comic. It's just there's a lot you can do. All right. So we're gonna choose a specific topic or moment for your comic. It could be autobiographical or fiction. And I want you to use 2 to 3 minutes to decide what you want to work on for this workshop. I'm gonna take the comic I did that wasn't meant to be a single page comic and transform it into how it would look if I were to draw it as a single page comic. So examples, my character is too tired to mosh, and yeah. So we're gonna use 2 to 3 minutes to do that right now.
And Lawrence, when you're are some topics better for a single page comic than others?
I think it depends on how you work. Yeah, for me, I think it depends on how you work. I think if you think of a single page comic in comic strips, it's easy because it's, like the beginning and then the ending is the punchline. Usually you get it with 6 to 8 panels. But if you're trying to do more of a, I don't want to say abstract, but a more experimental approach, I think it depends. Like, yeah, don't be afraid to just whatever you have in your mind, put on the page. Because the point of these, to me, is not to finish them in the span of the workshop, is to continue them later for your comics practice. So,
We've got some people struggling in comments. Gail saying that this is the hardest part, coming up with the idea. And Jack is like, one moment, where to start?
that itself could be the comic. The single page comic is about having trouble choosing a topic for your single page comic. I'm very big on meta. I like that in comics. I think it's funny and it's fun. Um, yeah, we're gonna have about 1 more minute and then we're gonna keep going. Yeah, usually I have like music and stuff, but everything's all messed up since I updated all the stuff on my laptop. And as we're finishing up, I'm gonna move to the next slide. Composition. Uh, Things to consider when doing your composition is how does your character feel? How do you want the reader to feel? How do you want to control the flow and pace of the page? And how do you want the reader to read the comic? So there's nothing that says that your single page comic has to start from the top to the bottom or left to right, right to left. Because a single page, you could have it read as the reader doesn't know where to start, and that could be a part of how you read the page, or you could do me. I'm very like minimal, so I like to start from the top and then to the bottom. But there's no reason that you can't choose the direction and flow you want to. I would say let's focus on aesthetic and more how does the character feel because then it puts you in a mindset of even if you have a great composition, does that composition work for what you're trying to convey through the character's emotions? You don't have to do that. If you're more of like an art purist and you just like good compositions, that's fine too. They work for a reason. But I would say experiment as much as possible. So for me, if I were making this into a single page comic, I would remove the title panel and I would remove that panel that says based on a true story at the bottom, and I would move them to the top. And then I would take those remaining 6 panels and then kind of organize them in a grid format, but a little more of a better flow for a single page comic. So we're going to use 5 to 10 minutes to loosely sketch out some possible compositions for your comics page. I did 5 at the bottom. When I say loose, I mean really loose. They don't need to look perfect. Just as long as you understand them, it doesn't matter if anyone else understands them. So, yeah.
Does it help to maybe do pencil, I think, Jackie, just for this, right,
Yeah,
Lawrence?
I'm trying to get to the chat, but it won't let me a second. Um, yeah, pencil, color pencil. If you sketch in ink, that's fine too. Whatever more is more comfortable. The point is, they're loose and free, so you don't need to erase them. If you make a mistake, you could scribble it out and write over it, and because this is not the sketch you would use to ink over. Essentially, this is like a thumbnail, if you will.
Yeah, thumbnail, just to work out ideas, real loose and rough. Do you ever find out if you do, say, 4 or 5 of these, that you start to mentally compose like a hybrid of like, oh, this works here, and I can take that from that one.
Sometimes, I'm usually the first one I do is the one I want, and then I got used to working this way because of school. So it would be like I want to do the first one, but the teacher requires more. And sometimes you do come up with a better composition, but I'm kind of stubborn, so I want to do the one I wanted to do. Um,
Yeah, so sometimes that first impulse, that's the one.
because it was there for a reason, and if it doesn't work, I mean, The worst it could be is I'll have to draw another page, but more than likely I would have to end up drawing another page anyway, so
Right.
might as well try it out.
Rachel's saying that they offer a one-page comic workshop at libraries, so this is a good workshop to attend.
Yeah, I find it's easier for folks to wrap their mind around just drawing the single page as opposed to diving into maybe like 6 to 8 pages. Yeah, it's a good way to just practice because you can later use these compositions in your larger work. Like you might remember a good composition you used in a single page that could work for a longer story.
Kate is saying they feel challenged by doing more than 2 panels.
Yeah, I mean the idea is that the page reads as one page anyway, so you don't have to break it into panels. My mind works in panels quite often, so that's typically how it looks for me, but there's no reason that you have to make it into individual panels. The whole page itself could be the panel.
I really like that first layout. It almost looks like a game board snaking down.
Yeah, I like that kind of flow too. Looking at a lot of single page comics, I like that idea of like yeah, like that is the grid itself, like game boards and stuff like that.
Hi, Nikki. We're just sketching out layouts for a one-page comic.
So does everyone still need more time or would you like to move on?
Let us know in chat. You guys ready for the next step? Jen's ready. Dominique's ready. Nancy's ready. Kate's ready. Jackie would let us. Jackie, Jackie's always holding up the whole group, man. Let's give them another minute.
Yeah.
How's that? We'll split the difference. I hope Jackie knows I'm just teasing. I'm a big Jackie fan. And also remember, Lawrence, didn't you say, this can be a springboard into something you don't necessarily need to finish tonight?
Yeah, I would recommend not trying to finish this by the end of this workshop. This is just about getting ideas out there for larger projects if you feel like you want to work on them. I feel like a lot of people put pressure on themselves to have something amazing to show at the end, and I'm just like, here's my little sketch.
No pressure. Yeah, I wish more people would just share something half finished, like here's how far I got. You don't have to finish, you know, by the end. I think it's interesting to see things half finished.
So I'm gonna move to the next step, which spoiler, you're gonna end up picking just one of those
What?
compositions.
Did not see that coming.
But yeah, so you just choose one sketch composition to work on for the rest of this workshop. I chose the first one. Uh, I often just do the other ones, just hoping maybe I'll come up with something I like better, but I usually don't. And so the first thing that pops in my mind is the one I usually want to work on. And so the idea is to keep it loose, fun, and experiment. This is the page I did. I had to do mine ahead of time because I don't have access to my camera today, so I can't do usually I draw it while we're all drawing. So I did a time lapse of me working on it. But yeah, so this is the one I chose, the Get in the Pit. And so I take my loose thumbnail sketch and then I go into pencils because on the iPad there's an advantage of not having to erase and things like that. But yeah, this is how I work. So this is me doing the sketch process of what you consider my pencils, making sure the layout works for what I want. Um, yeah, and now that you say that, I think that kind of makes sense. The game board type of aesthetic, because it's like the payoff is towards the end. Like you start at the top and then end at the bottom, and that's the payoff of the comic, or at least what I hope would be the payoff of the comic. And yeah, so we'll use the remainder of the time to sketch out and work on your single page comic, and then we'll start sharing at 4:45, right?
Yeah.
4:45.
And remember, no pressure to get the whole thing down.
At all. Um, I had pressure to get it done because I was like, I want to show up and have something to show y'all because
Right.
I can't because I can't like usually I would be able to just draw it in real time because I had the camera mode, but again, it's not working. So I was like, I gotta have something to show y'all. Like, I can't just be like, oh, work on this and I'll sit here. Uh,
No, this is great to see. I love these auto playbacks of drawing. It looks like magic.
so another thing to note is there does not need to be dialogue in your single page comic for it to read as a comic. There's a lot of potential in wordless comics, especially for something like this. There's a lot of room for potential to experiment. My mind works in cartoons, so that's why it's always going to be very cartoony for me.
I do love, though, how you organize these dialogue balloons.
Yeah, I'm trying to get better with that over time. Yeah. There's a period where even going through school where I was pretty stubborn, so I was like, I don't care if it looks like it's composed right or but I have some time to like get that out of my system, get back to basics. So and even then there's potential to make the composition flow a little better. Like I could move the first two speech balloons down to kind of fit in between, fill up that negative space between me moshing and the character I'm talking to. But there's like little stuff, you know, you don't have to do things like that.
How long did this take in real time wise?
Maybe 30 minutes. But again, I was trying to like get something done to show. Yeah.
I love how fluid this is.
Yeah, I was happy to redo a comic I already did because it proves that things could, I don't like saying better, but they could always, there's a different way to do stuff with comics. And there's so much potential to, like this changes the dynamic and the way you read this comic. It's the same comic I did for Razor Cake, but there's another way that it could have been done. And this is an example of if I were to draw that comic as a single page comic as opposed to just panels, and then put them together later.
Oh, that's nice.
And so yeah, when you're drawing, think about is the title a part of the comic or is it just the title? I tend to try to like add it into the comic. Only because it reminds me of like newspaper comics and things like that, like funny strips and stuff like that. But that's always my favorite part about those. It's the title.
And so everybody still has another 15, 16 minutes to play. It's cool. Oh, I love those colors.
Yeah, me too. I like the composition a lot too. Yeah, yeah, the comic books.
Do you have an Instagram account, Lawrence?
No, I just I used to have all that stuff. I got rid of it. Um,
But
I
I'm putting
you
your
can
websites into the chat.
yeah, and then our press has one, Lindell House, but yeah, I don't. I've been
And
taking a break.
lawrencelindell.com.
Hmm.
Nikki wants to know if you have a Substack.
No.
No. But I just put the two websites into chat, Nikki. Where do we start? Well, we're half over, so maybe you want to check out the YouTube. Can you rewind a live event on YouTube to get to the beginning?
I think you can, and then if you click live again, it'll go live.
Chris says yes, so I would go to the YouTube live feed and rewind to the beginning, like time travel.
But the way this one, literally it's a year. The timeline is a whole entire year on a single page.
Wow.
Fascinating thing about comics that can be done.
Mhm. Wow. Mm. So we got about another 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be finished to share.
At all. It's nice too for other folks who are making comics to see the process. I find it's more helpful to see the process than the final product, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
we love looking at the final comics because we know a lot of work goes into it, but seeing the process kind of helps me, at least, I'll speak for myself, wrap my mind around how to make comics when I was first starting. Like, oh, it doesn't just start off finished. You build up to it. So
Yeah. And even if you have figured out your own process, I find it helpful to be reminded that everything's iterative, that everything kind of starts rough and sorry.
Thing I wish I would have done for this was instead of I wish I would have moved the characters in the quote unquote second panel before I put in the second speech balloons of you up and okay. I would have liked it better if the characters were in between those and then, but again, just like little things that I'm looking at as a
Yeah.
person drawing it.
It's so funny. This keeps happening because like when you're the creator, you see where you may have missed your mark. But when I'm looking at it, I just see all the beauty and the fluidity. I love how you connected all those dialogue balloons in the first and second.
Yeah, there's so many cartoonists. Once I saw that that was a possibility for the language, I never stopped. It was like, oh,
But I mean, you could have not connected them because we're seeing the two characters again, but that you did just creates this kind of fluid connectivity. I don't know how else to say it. That also leads the eye, directs the eye. It's really cool.
I think there's about 5 minutes left.
We do this every Friday night, same time. Different guest artist each week. But also, they're all the workshops are on YouTube. I'm going to put the archive link up in chat. So we have about 4 minutes left until we start the share. When do you start drawing? About 30 minutes ago. So how long ago, Lawrence, did you do this version of it?
This one,
The one we're looking at?
I think 20, maybe a year ago, a year or so ago. Maybe 2022, 2023, one of those, like a year or two ago. And it was definitely meant to be more of just like a very quick, silly comic. But for today, I was thinking, I was like, well, I think it'd be more beneficial if I showed what the process of my mind looks like making it into a single page comic as opposed to where these were put together after the fact. It's a different thought process for me.
But this is technically a single page comic.
Yeah, it's the same beats and everything, but it wasn't drawn with the intention to be.
Oh, right. You said you did each panel separately and then you put them together.
Yeah, so that's why the composition to me and the one I did for tonight flows better because the intention was that it's to be read from the beginning as a single page. At least I think. I could be wrong, but that's just what I think. I think we can start sharing now.
Okay.
Um, let me stop.
Yeah, I had trouble finding the stop share
Yeah,
button tonight.
I get it. There we go.
There we are. Cool. I see some hands up. I'm going to call on this complete stranger, Jeannie. You know,
Ooh,
I Jeannie.
thank you, Mr. Michael Phaeton. So, yeah, I didn't finish, but oh my goodness, this was so great. all your layouts were so good. I actually okay. Um, I drew all of the thumbnails because I want to keep track of them. They're just so great. And I chose the hardest one for me, which is a single panel with no, anyway, with 4 things going on or more. Anyway, so this is, I'm at my daughter's farm, and I came up last night. We did some errands today, and I kept trying to tell her things. Anyway, it's a mom, let's go. So this is me. Hey, Mir, her name's Miriam, and I call her Mir. Hey, Mir, have you tried blah blah blah? And she says, yes, I have. And then she says, and 3 other ways. And then this is me saying, oh, geez, I know that. Of course you have. I'm sorry. And then she says, that's okay, Mom. I know you know. That was a moment from today. Thank you so much, Lawrence. This is really enlightening to I think of it as smashing 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 panels into one. This was really great to see it's possible.
It's so great to see your character and also just breaking out of the grid like that, Jean. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
I see Paula. Well, I see Paula's ceiling. Then now I see Paula. Hi,
Hi,
Paula.
this is what I did. I did 2 actually,
Wow.
and I did this one as well.
Nice.
Thank you. All about tea with eyeballs in it. Something a bit different.
Very cool.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Paula.
Thank you.
I see Jen and then Justin. Jen.
Uh, there we go. Okay, so Lawrence, I really liked your the one with your face where there was a lot of black and then a lot of white, and that was very striking, and so I thought I might play with that. And I also kind of played with the meta thing. So I've got my pencil here. And it says, how do I even have enough eraser for this? Twist, 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 feeling boxed in. Why did I even use pencil? Which I did do this as like a potential design shape, and right at that point you were talking about how sometimes the first idea is the best one, and I was like, well, I think this is it. So then I've got like all of these different emotions, many of which are like anxious, like what ideas am I going to even come up with? What am I going to write about? And then eventually all the feelings sort of turned into lead. Eventually they kind of morphed into, and then what did I say at the bottom? Oh yeah, emotions on the paper become ideas, 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 ideas. And then all the ideas are going to be in the ink once I finish coloring in the but it says family, friends, politics, life, music, and that's in the ink. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Thanks.
But oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thank you for sharing. Are you still with us, Lawrence?
Yeah, I've been writing in the chat because I don't want to take time from folks sharing. But yeah, this is awesome. I love it. It's super creative from all of y'all that have shared so far. You can't see my face, but I'm sitting like really close to the laptop looking at all the comics and smiling. So.
Nice. Yeah, this got me to get out of the box things. Like, well, if I have 1 page, I don't have to use squares. So thanks for that.
Thanks, Jen. I see Justin next and then Jackie.
Okay, here's what I kind of like cowboys, so I did horsing around, and in the next panel, he asked, "Have you seen my horse?" And the guy said, "Nope." Down below, the guy says, "Well, what does it look like?" He said, "It looks like a horse, you idiot." And then down below that, this guy says, "Well, did you look in the corral?"
Moron.
And the last panel, that's a good idea. Of course, I mean, I didn't have time to finish it, but anyway, that was my idea for a one-page comic.
That's great.
One of the things I kind of do, you can see the one cowboy has the plaid shirt. That's to help identify him a little bit from the other characters.
Sure.
I kind of do things like that once in a while. Anyway, that was fun. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
I love the body language on the last panel. Just great. Well done. Thanks for sharing.
Mhm.
Jackie.
This is very sketchy. Try to show this to you. It's called Early Voting on the Far Northwest Side, and I captured my "I voted" selfie. In the background are all pictures of you know, the things that I was thinking as I was walking over, like there's so many squirrels. And I apologize because this is not politically neutral. So anybody who is not on, you know, the side that I'm voting on, I apologize for not. No, it's serious.
Yeah. No.
You know, so many Trump signs and more squirrels. And oh man, look at that line. I should be psyched, but instead I'm just worried. And this is why I vote early. I like my neighborhood, but I don't love it. Here goes nothing.
Wow. Beautiful.
But good, thanks. That is very unfinished. So it's a little beyond my comfort level to share it, but this is
It's good to see
necessary.
unfinished things. Did you do a few different layout thumbnails before you started?
Yeah, I tried another one, but that was like when I was going to do my thinking about my Halloween candy,
Mm-hmm.
about handing out, like why I hand out the things that I do. And then I was like, nah, I need to be talking about this other thing. But I just thought about like the phone selfie. It's the centerpiece.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of those online. I love what you do, Jackie.
thank you.
I see Matt next and then Andrea.
All right, let's see if it'll focus here. I did the large, let's see here if you can see that. It's like a big skull.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And entitled it Brain Freeze. And so boy, my lighting is kind of, here we go, maybe that helps. In one frame, I don't know what to say. The other frame, yikes, why did I say that? And then down here would be in the where the teeth are individual panels, bills to pay, just kind of maybe getting reprimanded by a boss, and then the question is why, and stop, and when, and how. And for the mustache and the chin is a quote: "My life is filled with terrible misfortunes, most of which have never happened. And so, just as a way to remember that when my anxious brain starts freezing. So there you have it.
You and me both, buddy.
Well,
Thanks for sharing.
certainly.
I see Andrea next.
So I didn't manage to focus in on the panel layout ideas. I just sort of started doing this, and I'm having my usual difficulty trying to frame it, but it's actually me trying to carve out space between two panels or pages or something. It's called The Space Between, and it says, it's me sliding down a water slide saying, summer was crazy busy. I need some time to decompress, which I am not getting because of the election. Here's me dropping a ballot in, as it were. And now I'm in a headlong rush to the end of the year. Just want to look out the window for an hour or a month or something.
Nice. You made a lot of progress.
Well, I can never seem to manage to show my pencil drawings in the lighting that I'm on, so I just leapt into ink.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. I see Michael, then Saul, then Sherry.
Hi, this is a rough draft. People around here have been very focused on the election, but now the World Series gave people a new distraction. So I came up with a concept, which is, how is the World Series not like a presidential election? And not quite sure how to show this yet. I started with a baseball diamond and then showing at first base, well, one way they're similar is you've got two teams. Then moving on to second base, there's agreement on a process. Third, there's agreement on rules of play. And then here's the punchline. That the winner, when the winner is declared, the loser accepts the outcome. So the next version may look very different, but that's the basic concept.
Nice, Michael.
Thanks.
I think politics are a lot of our minds. Saul, you want to come on camera? Issue?
Yes.
There it is.
So I actually switched over to try to work on my iPad, and so I'll try to show that.
Are you going to hold it up, or you want to share your screen?
I have a separate.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. See that?
So basically, it's about planting something in my garden, and kind of like anxiety over like, will it grow? The Central Texas weather is really unpredictable. It could be really hot. There might be an unexpected winter storm apocalypse. Nobody knows. And then basically, yeah, the end is just kind of like, wow, it sprouted. But yeah, I don't know if you can see super well, but I tried kind of like doing kind of like horizontal, like across the page paneling, some big, like longer panels versus like breaking down some of the panels.
Nice. It sprouted.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. I see Sherry, then Maxine, then Judith.
Hi there.
Hi.
I kind of worked on, I bought a book yesterday and I had this feeling like I pulled the book out and then it was so inspiring to me. And I had this idea of like pulling a book out of a shelf almost mixed up with the idea of a dollhouse. Like each little book leaves this space on the shelf, and then anything, the story could be in there. And so I wanted to make a dollhouse that was like a Franken dollhouse, where there's like a dungeon of a castle and a space station and like a tree, like a little mouse hole. So I just sort of was playing with this idea and thinking that maybe the door of each house would be a panel, or the door of each house could be this little cavity where a book is sitting, and you could pull it out and then you could enter the little environment. So it was kind of hard to figure it out, but playing with the shapes of the architecture, I guess, to create a dollhouse that also looks like a space station or a dungeon, or I have like a little marketplace over there. You can't hardly tell, it's very rough, but yeah, this was really fun. Thanks.
Nice. Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that. I see Maxine next, but to share. Wait, there you are.
There.
Hi.
I think mine's pretty light. I don't know how well it's gonna show. But I have like a couple different images, and I wasn't really sure on layout, so I did a couple, but it's sort of this idea of like a person alone in their bedroom remembering something, and it's who are you with no moon, with nothing and no one to hold on to. So a little dark there, but yeah, I kind of wasn't sure on the layout because I have the sort of like bedroom image and then the memory image, and then
Yeah.
also multiple moons, and I'm just sorting like where to put them. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of what I did. It's cool to start thinking
I
about the different ways that it could go.
love those curtains. Lawrence, when you're stuck like that, how do you find your way back?
Usually it's sharing like this kind of, because a person might be like, oh, I read that as this, and you're like, oh, that's not what I wanted you to read it as, and that can help you. Or if you're like me, where I'm very protective of my work, I'll do the variations of it, and then whatever's most pleasing to my eye, I pick, even if I know that most people won't understand it, but I'm kind of like that. So, so that might not be how you are, but I'm kind of like stubborn. It's like if I really want it to be that way, I keep it that way. So just think about the flow that you want, and if it's pleasing to your eye, like not how it will look to other people, but if you're looking at it like that's it, then that's it.
Cool. Thanks, Maxine. I see Judith and then Chris.
Hi. Thank you. This is great. And I have to say, the thing that you kept on saying about don't worry if it's rough, because it's really weird to just do something in a few minutes and then show it to people. I'm going to have to show something from before. It's not our workup, but last week or one of the weeks at the Friday night thing, we were talking about, I ended up doing this about what choices we had to be in high school. And there was beatnik, what my mom wanted, cheerleader, and tramp. Okay. This is for girls, but anyway, and then I ended up for tonight, something I've been thinking about for a long time. It's called Bad Girls in Every Era. So I was a hippie on a commune, and there's the wood burning stove, and I'm smoking weed, etc. And then my daughter was roller skating in a bikini on Venice Boulevard when she was, and my granddaughter is all tattooed and pregnant and on Instagram.
Wow.
And that's what we got. So it's very rough, but I've been thinking about it, and I guess I just, thank you. This is great.
That rough looks great, Judith, I gotta say.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I think you've mentioned it a few times about if you show somebody something and it's just very rough, it's not like the same thing as when you say, this is what I've been working. But still, this is where the ideas happen, and it's really important to let it go, I think.
Yeah,
Anyway.
and sometimes rough is more expressive than the super
Absolutely.
polished version.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
thanks for
thank you.
sharing that. Chris.
Hello. I spent most of Tuesday in the emergency room, so I got a phone call at work, and it said, "Your son is in pain and he can't stand up straight." It was the nurse.
Oh, man.
So I took him to the walk-in clinic where his pediatrician is, and she examined him. Oh, also the nurse said she thought it was a kidney stone. So then his doctor was feeling around and said, "Does this hurt?" And ouch. And so she thought, "Is it appendicitis?" And she told us to go to the emergency room for imaging. So we went to the emergency room, and the ultrasound technician was showing him all of his internal organs, and that was really cool. And then he got x-rayed. And the solution turned out to be Miralax because he was just constipated. So everything was fine.
Oh, man.
But it took all day.
Yeah.
Thanks. It was interesting thinking about how to put it together.
Nice job, Chris. That looks great. I see Rachel next, but I can't share until
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great. Okay, there's
Oh,
my video. How do
there
I
you
turn
are.
it around? Hang on. How do I turn? Okay. So I worked on my iPad as well. This was really rough because I came in a little bit late. I was having technical difficulties, but I also had an injury today, but I didn't go to the doctor. I actually hurt my drawing hand, and so I have like a picture of my injured thumb, and then I say, so it's hard to draw, and here's me being frustrated about trying to draw with a injured thumb, and then my sad thumb in the last
Oh, no.
bandaged up and just ouch at the end.
That's awesome.
It was very rough and like drawn with a bad hand, but and then I wanted to show just a single page of what like my actual comic work looks like for a book or for like a single page with like panels split up. So this is kind of what my thumbnails typically look like for like a comic book page. But I do little journal comics like this all the time too, and they're kind of quick and easy to just get an idea out. But this is kind of more like if I was working on like a full page, like normal page size comic. So yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Everyone's
but
work was great.
that rough comic is so expressive and so much fun. And it feels very spontaneous, you know? Thanks, Rachel. I see Nikki. Nikki, are you there?
Mute.
Right.
Yes, you do. I'm right here. Hello, hello.
Oh,
Oh, you can't see me.
yeah.
One moment. That
Oh,
way.
please. There you are.
And then I disappear again. I go back screen. Okay. So this is my comic. So let me see if I can. Actually, it should be right. It goes, my comic about Friday night comics. And it is, oh no, I'm going to be late. So much smoke. Hope I don't catch the house on fire. OMG, I love this. Yum. And then I'm going scrunch, 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 scrunch. And there's the fruit toast with the blue cheese. And I based my whole comic about that comment that I made in the live chat, which was, yum, I love blue cheese on slightly burnt fruit toast. And here's me still scrunching away. And I've got, sorry, not. I didn't make enough for everyone. And that was really cool. I really enjoyed. I mean, I had YouTube on as well, and actually scrolling back while the live was on and looking at the start, which I missed. Your comics are amazing. I had so much fun. So thank you very much.
Fantastic, Nikki. Thanks so much. Okay. I see Capri. I'm a little nervous because they came very late. All right, let's see what happens. Did you get the little prompt to unmute? All right, I'm going to come back to you. And let's go to Troy McClure, who you may know from such films as,
I'm the original, by the way.
okay.
He was named after me. Okay. So I did a one-page memoir about my ill-fated gymnastics dream. I actually did 2 layouts of it. I don't know if you can see this all right, but it's called My Dream. And I said at age 10, I was told I was too tall to be a gymnast. At age 13, I was told I was too old. At age 60, I can still do all my routines, and I do them religiously in my head. And there's me doing a bad yoga headstand, and it's coming out of there. I had another thought of a layout too, and that was just writing it. It's more of a rhythmic gymnast, but writing it
Oh,
sort of as part of the the ribbon.
interesting.
Yeah, and it's slightly different punchline. I just said at age 10, I was told I was too tall to be a gymnast. At age 13, I was told I was too old. At age 60, I am now a champion gymnast in my head.
Nice. Can I see the first panel of the first one again? 'Cause,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, it reminded me a little of Jules Pfeiffer's dancer character. I don't know if you know.
Oh, this one here, this
Yeah,
character?
yeah, that's nice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Sorry, what was the name?
Oh, Jules Pfeiffer
Oh, Jules Pfeiffer. Oh,
has
gosh,
this
yeah.
character, a dancer who does like, you know, an ode to grief or whatever.
Oh, okay.
That's really nice. I love those lines. Great.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
We can go back to Capri. I'm hitting ask to unmute. Do you hear that? Do you see that?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, my name's not actually Gupri. This is my dad's computer, actually. Yeah. Anyway, sorry I'm late again. If I've been asking a lot of questions or tweeting a lot, but forget about that. Let me show you all what I have. Yeah, where is it? There we go. See, yeah, I'm not sure if you can all see this, but I'm assuming you can.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, see that the character's clearly wearing some kind of mask. One of the panels is giving out the black and the white half. A close-up of their sword, modeled after a crow, signifies death. And this character, the servant, this with like a torch lighting everything up. And you can notice subtle shading here.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, and we have the back. I couldn't color the rest of it. The rest wasn't colored, but because I'm time constraints and I have a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
A little story. And a little bit of gates opening.
Nice.
Probably wondering what's behind the gates. This. If you can see all that clearly.
Yeah.
Fun fact, one of the bald guy's supposed to be wearing this plated chainmail. It was like used everywhere in Russia, the Middle East, India, the Philippines, and a whole lot of other places.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Oh yeah, and then there's some of the back, except that's unfinished. If you can see it through this lighting.
So this is like a 5-page, 1-page comic.
Yeah. There's a bit of story to it. A bunch of gladiators are forced to fight against this giant bird.
Uh-huh.
I made sure to tell one was determined and one is really scared, probably about to pee himself.
Cool.
You can tell that sweat.
Thanks for sharing. I see Kate Moon next.
Hi.
Hi, Kate.
Hello. Is this oh, okay.
There you are.
Yeah, I have a little privacy thing on my computer. Yeah, I've been I couldn't raise my hand. By the way, it's under this little heart that said react, so I'm relieved. I thought I was like blocked or something.
No, no, and they keep moving things around with
I
these
know.
shapes.
I
It's
thought
like,
like
God.
logically there's no reason to block me. I've been relatively well behaved.
No.
So anyway,
Oh, nice.
here's the thing. There was no pressure to finish, so I
Mhm.
just flipped it and insisted to myself that I need to finish it. So this is a one-page comic, and I took, um, thank you for the banner comic. I kind of like the Mosh Pit comic. So instead, I titled it Haiku Under Pressure and wrote this during session. Now here's the haiku. Animal drawing. 4 more animal drawings.
That's my
Thank
favorite kind of haiku. Well done.
This is yeah, it's like an anti-joke, I guess.
That's great. Thanks so much, Kate. I'm glad you found your hand.
Yes, I did. Here it is. Here it is.
I see Nancy next, then Formita, then Christian.
Okay, I couldn't find my hand either. Same problem, they moved it. Okay, so this was
Oh, wow.
layout,
Wow.
kind of an S shape, I guess, around the page. And then the top, the dog says, I tell the dog, come on, let's go to the barn and take care of the animals. And she says, oh, Mom, I'm too tired, really. And so then what she does all day is race around the yard, make holes, throw things around, play. And then at the end of the day, I say, come on, let's go to puppy training. And she goes, oh, Mom, I'm really too tired.
Nice. Oh, that's great. Well done. Thanks for sharing, Nancy.
Thanks.
I see Parmita, but not on camera.
Hello, hi. Sorry, I can't turn my camera off. Where I am in the corner of the world, it's almost 4 a.m. and I'm in darkness essentially. So
Okay. Do you
yeah.
want to share your screen then, or?
Yes.
All right.
It doesn't let me share my screen at the
No,
moment.
because I have to press a magic button to let it happen. And I did,
Oh,
so
yes.
you can.
Thank you so much. Just one moment, please. Can you see it?
No.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. So mine doesn't have any dialogue. I just drew my OC, who is like kind of a ghost detective, I guess, finding a ghost in a basement. Very simple. Yeah, I had a lot of hard time with this because I think in panels. So this was a really fun and exciting experiment. I actually learned from it. This was fun. So
Nice.
thank you so much, Lawrence.
That looks great. Thanks for sharing. And let's see. And I think Christian is the last. Hey, Christian.
I just made right now. I just made a comic on like TV astronauts or astronauts. I haven't finished it, but this is the design.
Cool.
Like it's an astronaut, but TV.
Mm-hmm. So sort of like with a TV head, but an astronaut?
Yeah, TV head, something, some astronauts have reflections between them. Some of them are robots.
Cool.
I'm gonna continue finishing this. I'm gonna continue finishing this.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks.
This looks like Among Us, and maybe I can just make TV head, a TV astronaut, a chair astronaut. I can make something with an astronaut.
Yeah. Keep working on it. Thanks for sharing, Kristen. All right, cool. I put into chat the link if you want to share your work PDF, if you want to keep working on something you started tonight. Hope you'll share it on social media with the usual tags. And this is traditionally, let's see yours, Michael. Well, if only I could guest host and draw at the same time, but I have ADD, so no, I can't do both, Jackie. Sorry. But I'll watch the video. I'm working on something that's like a one-page comic, coincidentally, but it's more like a montage. So this is when we usually unmute ourselves and just thanks Lawrence for this great exercise.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lawrence.
It's been fun. Yay.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Very much.
Thank you.
Next
Thanks
time,
for
I hope
having
your
me.
camera's working so
And-
we can see you.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
I hope you get your updated update.
Thanks.
Christine, are you holding up something you want to share?
No,
No?
no, I
Okay.
was as we were going.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Mine-
Michael. Thank
All
you,
right.
Lawrence.
Thank
Join
you,
the
Michael.
Mighty,
Thank
join
you,
the Mighty
Tom.
Network if you're
Nice
not already
party.
there. Keep coming. Keep making comics, everybody. Have a
Thank
great
Thank
weekend.
you.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Bye.
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 Bye.